Bonjour, Lonnie. Book by Faith Ringgold, artist and author. An extraordinary thing happened one night. It began with the song of a bird. I heard the singing, and before I could open the window, a bird flew in and perched on my finger. "My name is Lovebird," said the beautiful bird. "Are you truly real, Lovebird?" I asked. "Or are you magic?" "I am real, Lonnie, though in Paris they say I am magic because wherever I am, people find their loved ones. I'm an orphan, Lovebird. Can you find my loved ones?" I asked. "Goodbye, Lonnie," was all the Lovebird said, and he flew out of my window. Come back, Lovebird," I yelled. "I want you to be my friend." But the beautiful Lovebird was gone. I pressed my face to the window pane, hoping to see the beautiful Lovebird, but the street was changed. I ran outside to discover I was in the city of Paris. The people were dressed in old-fashioned clothes and they spoke French just like Lovebird. "Bonjour, Lonnie," they greeted me. "Bonjour, madame. Bonjour, monsieur," I responded. "Have you seen Lovebird?" "Oui," they said. "If you look everywhere, you will find him." I hurried to the Cathedral of Notre Dame in Paris. I ran up the old winding stairs to the bell towers to ask the griffins and gargoyles if they had seen Lovebird. "You must keep looking, Lonnie. Lovebird is everywhere," they told me. I climbed to the top of the Eiffel Tower, which overlooks all of Paris. "Lovebird, Lovebird," I called out. "Where are you?" But the beautiful Lovebird did not answer me. I went to the Louvre Museum and asked Mona Lisa if she had seen Lovebird. "I am looking for Lovebird too," she said, the great painting. "He makes me smile." I marched up to the Champs-Élysées and stood under the Arc de Triomphe. Everyone yelled as they passed by, "Have you found Lovebird?" "No," I said, "and I have searched all of Paris." "Do not give up," they yelled back. "Lovebird is Paris." I ran to the river Seine. I crossed from the right bank to the left, stopping to ask the artist and the antique booksellers on the quay. I walked till my legs were so heavy I could not move them. "Lovebird," I cried as loudly as I could, "please find me. I am lost." At that moment, Lovebird appeared and perched on my finger. "Bonjour, Lonnie. You are not lost. Follow me, and you will find your loved ones," said the beautiful Lovebird. Speechless, I followed Lovebird into a courtyard, and once again he flew through a window and was gone. The window opened and an old man called out to me, "Lonnie, Lonnie, viens, come here. I am your grandpa. Your grandma and I have been waiting for you." "Where have you been?" asked Grandma. "I have been looking for Lovebird," I answered. "And you have found us," said Grandma. "Come in, Lonnie," Grandpa said. "We know you have been wondering about your family and what happened to your mother and father." "Please tell me, Grandpa," I said. "I want to know why I don't have parents like other children, and why are you black and Grandma white?" "Lonnie, I grew up a poor boy in Harlem. I sang in the church choir and dreamed of going to Europe to study opera." "Oh, Grandpa, singing opera is my dream too," I said excitedly. "Your father had a beautiful voice also," said Grandma. "When World War I began," Grandpa continued, "I joined the 369th Infantry and was sent to Champagne, a wine-growing province east of Paris. The French people there were friendly, hard-working, everyday folks. We learned to speak French and to love French food, which was not too different from the down-home dishes we had been raised on. I sang with the 369th Regiment Band," said Grandpa. "And I came to hear the music," said Grandma. "You may not believe this, but I could cut a mean rug, Lonnie. The French people love music. They call it hot jazz. Nowhere had I ever felt so at home outside the company of my family and friends. I fell in love with France forever," said Grandpa. "And I fell in love with your grandpa," Grandma said. "He was so tall and handsome in his army uniform, and he was a hero too. The French called us the Harlem Hellfighters. We were the first Americans to win one of France's highest medals of honor. When the war was over, we paraded down Fifth Avenue in New York City as heroes. The streets were lined with cheering crowds. Confetti fell from the windows like snow. For the first time I felt respected, jubilant, victorious, and proud, said Grandpa. It was just 55 years after emancipation, and black people in America had a new sense of pride, Grandpa went on. In Harlem, an exciting movement was born. We called it the Harlem Renaissance. It was there that Marcus Garvey started the Back to Africa movement, and Josephine Baker sang and danced at the Cotton Club. Our famous African American writers wrote novels and poems that made black writers accepted all over the literary world, said Grandpa. And the artists painted pictures of beautiful black faces for the first time, said Grandma. But still, there was very little opportunity for a creative black person to achieve success in America, Grandpa told me. In some places, we still could not eat at a lunch counter or drink from public water fountain or reserve a hotel room. I longed to return to France, to feel free. So I went back to Paris. Paris was the place to go after the war, said Grandpa. Many black Americans were living there. We met in the cafes and talked about our hopes and dreams. My hope was to become an opera singer and to marry the lady I loved, your grandma. Oh, yes, said Grandma. We had wonderful dinner parties for the artists and writers in our old Paris flat. Your grandpa became a famous singer not only in Paris, but also in opera houses in Berlin and Vienna. After dinner, he would entertain us with his beautiful tenor voice. Your father was just a baby then, Lonnie. Just then, the scene changed, like in a movie, and Grandma and Grandpa were joined by new people seated around the table. I know who you are, I said with joy. You're my mother, I said to the lady with the green eyes. And you're my father, I said to the man in the army uniform. And the baby sitting on my grandma's lap is me. There is so much I want to know, Father, I said. Please tell me all about your life. My name is Lonnie Sr., my son, Father said. And you look just like me, only you have your grandma's red hair and your mother, Claudine's, green eyes. I was a promising student of voice, only 19 years old when I lost my life fighting for France in the World War II. But why did you have to go to war and die for France, Father? I asked. There was a man named Hitler who believed that the German people were a master race and that all Jews should be exterminated. You see, Lonnie, though we were both French, I was a black man, but your mother was a Jew. I want to hear from my mother, Claudine. Why did you leave me, Mother? I asked. Lonnie, my darling, Mother said, you were such a good boy. No mother could have asked for a sweeter baby. But when the Nazis took over Paris, I feared for your safety. I had no choice but to give you away. Whom did you give me to, Mother? I interrupted. Her name was Clara Lee. She was an African-American student studying at the Sorbonne in Paris. All Americans had to leave Paris, so I asked Clara Lee to take you to America with her, said Mother. But what happened to you, Mother? I asked. I tried to hide, Lonnie, but the Nazis found me, said Mother sorrowfully, and took me away. Clara Lee will tell you the rest, my son. I smuggled you out of France with the help of the resistance movement, continued Clara Lee. I hoped to make a home for you in America, but I became ill and couldn't take care of you. I wanted my Aunt Connie and Uncle Bates to take you, but I could not find them, so you were put in an orphanage, said Clara Lee. But now we have good news. Lovebird has found Aunt Connie and Uncle Bates, said Father. They want to be your parents and give you a good home and the love you missed. And Aunt Connie has dyed her own graying locks red like yours, said Mother. They are waiting for you in the real world, my son. But I want to stay here forever with all of you, I said. Lonnie, you must leave us, said Mother. We are the past. We want you to have a future in the real world. Goodbye, Lonnie. We love you, they chorused. Once more, the scene changed, and they were gone. Everything was different now. I was no longer in Paris, nor was I in my drafty old room at the orphanage. I was in my new home with Aunt Connie and Uncle Bates. It was a beautiful morning, and when I heard Lovebird's song, I felt like singing, too. Lovebird, Lovebird, I love you. Mother Claudine, Father Lonnie, Grandma, and Clara Lee, too. Goodbye, Aunt Connie and Uncle Bates. Bonjour, Lonnie, Lovebird said as he perched on my finger. Lovebird, we want to thank you for helping us find Lonnie, said Aunt Connie and Uncle Bates. And I want to thank you for helping me find my loved ones, I said. You are real, Lovebird, and you are magic too. You've changed my life with love, and I will never forget you, even though you are full of tricks. Goodbye, Lonnie. Goodbye, Aunt Connie and Uncle Bates. Till we meet again, said the beautiful Lovebird as he flew out one last time through the window and was gone.